Well, the time has arrived. I'm getting ready to move, and I'm going to be a handheld gamer for the next few months because all my consoles and everything else are packed up in boxes right now. My life is just a big pile of boxes, which are going to be traveling around the world. I'm probably not going to see these for many, many months, so I need to rely on handheld gaming over the next few months. And what I've really done is I've really decided to curate a great pile of games that I want to tackle on my Nintendo Switch specifically, and a few on my Analog Pocket and my Nintendo 3DS. But mostly I just want to focus on the Switch in today's video and talk about some great handheld games that will play beautifully on the Nintendo Switch when you don't have access to a big screen, when you don't have access to your PlayStation or whatever other console, your PC or anything like that. So this is going to be on the plane, sleeping on air mattresses. This is this is the kind of life that I'm going to be having with gaming over the next few months. So I've been mentally preparing for this for quite a while. And as I started to box up my game room, as I featured in another video, I started pulling aside the games that I thought a little mix of some JRPGs, some shooters, some action platformers, some big games that I just haven't tackled yet, but just a good mix, some short games, some long games, but games that would play really well on the Nintendo Switch. And I think all of the games that I'm going to talk about today really play well on the Nintendo Switch, maybe except one, and we'll find out how it actually performs, but all of these other games are going to be great handheld games. So let's talk about it. I wanted to talk about the strategy here, first of all. And what I did was I have my normal Switch case, which holds, I think, about 10 games, but I wanted more. So I ordered this like little handy dandy flip case. I've got a little Zelda, on the side. So it's a little handy dandy Zelda case. And I got one for my son as well. And it holds quite a few Switch carts in here. And was able to pull in all those games because I don't want to bring the cases with me. So all of the cases are packed up in boxes and away. I just wanted to take the cartridges that I can play. So that was my solution. It's nice and thin, really tiny, like a little wallet, and it'll go along nicely with my Nintendo Switch case. So let's go through it. Let's talk about some of the games that I decided to curate here. And let's look at the first cartridge that I've got in here, and that's Ni no Kuni and the Wrath of the White Witch. I've been waiting to play this game for a long time. Now is the perfect time to be able to play it. It's a role-playing game developed by Level 5 with Studio Ghibli, and the legendary Studio Ghibli. If you love that art style, you're going to love this game. I've heard amazing things about this game over the years. The game follows the story of Oliver, who's a young boy who goes on a journey to save his mom, and that's really all I know about it. By the way, I have a superpower. I told my friends this the other day we were talking about this. I have a superpower, and that is I can manage to not be spoiled. I can avoid spoiler alerts for many years. Stuff that's come out 15 years ago, I have this superpower where I manage to avoid knowing about it. And I kind of block it off on purpose so that someday I'll get to play it, but I really have no idea what this game is all about. I know that he, is trying to save his mom. I know that much. And he finds out that he's a wizard along the way. And as the name suggests, of course, he has to go and eventually to battle the mysterious White Witch. It's supposed to combine traditional JRPG elements, which I'm excited about, and world building, a really detailed world building as well, and a lot of charming characters, innovative combat system. I'm always interested in the different combat systems in different JRPGs and how they're different from other games. So Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, excited to play that one. All right, let's look through my cartridges here and see my next one here. The next one up is a limited run game. Now I had the collector's edition of this that I received from Limited Run Games. This is Steel Assault. Steel Assault. Like the metal, steel. And looked like a combo to me of like Bionic Commando and Strider. And I said, yes, sign me up. It's got a 16-bit art style, 16-bit game style, which is beautiful. And apparently, America's cities were totally decimated. And one man decided to rise up and take care of, and I love his name. Apparently his name is Magnus Pierce. Magnus Pierce. He's the one man that's going to save the world. I love that. And he's a famous inventor. He's a roboticist, and he turns into an army general. But it does look like a little Bionic Commando and a bit of Strider as well. One of my all-time favorite games. So This looked like a fun one. You know, it doesn't look like it's terribly long, but a lot of fun. Really fun action platformer. in this one. Very sort of fast-paced, really beautiful side-scrolling action. And again, it has that 16-bit style, which I'm really excited about. Okay, moving on here. What else am I going to play while my consoles are in a box right now? Number 3 on my list is Proteus. I've talked a little bit about this recently. Proteus is a first-person shooter, but it's sort of reimagined using modern rendering techniques and technology. So it's almost like you're playing like a modern AAA game, but it has this really retro aesthetic to it, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And it looks like you're playing it kind of on older hardware. And also, I love that it's handcrafted, handcrafted campaign. And it has a co-op experience as well. You can play multiplayer, and it has a level editor, built-in community map, all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, it looks like a lot of fun. And it, people want to call it a boomer shooter. A boomer shooter, fine, we'll call it a boomer shooter. I'm not a boomer, but you can call it a boomer shooter if you want. So Proteus, that was the next one I threw in here. See this little mix, JRPG, action platformer, shooter, bouncing around here. All right, next on my list, I've been wanting to play this game for quite a while. It's Northgard. Check out Northgard here. It's a 2018 real-time strategy game that came out in 2018, and it's set in the Viking times, which I'm excited about. I love Viking lore. I love that. I love Norse mythology and that Norse mythology universe. It's so amazing. And I recently had a chance to travel to Norway last summer. Went to a Viking museum and all of that. So really, really cool to see that. So I'm excited to play this. And yeah, I don't know much more about it, honestly. Again, I think it's a real-time strategy game. You're building kind of a world and community, and you're a Viking. And that sounds like a blast to me. I love real-time strategy games. All right, next of my carts here, let's look at here we go. Master Detective Archives, Rain Code. Now, this one came out and they had the special edition, the collector's edition at the store where I would normally pick up my video games, and they didn't have the regular edition of it. So I said, what the hell? I don't know. It looks pretty cool. It looks like right up my alley. So I bought the collector's edition of this game, not knowing anything about it, which is a little crazy, but okay. Anyway, this is a brand new sort of dark fantasy action game, and from the same team that did another game which is hard to pronounce, which is it's hard for me to say. Danganronpa. Danganronpa? Am I saying that correctly? How many of you have played Danganronpa? Okay. It's like, if you want to market a game, why would you come up with this really ridiculously hard name to even say, Okay. But anyway, apparently that was a beloved game. People really loved it. So it's from the same team that created that game. And it's apparently really a great detective and murder game that strives to really take sort of like a visual novel approach and turn it on its head with a bunch of mini games and RPG-like combat as well. So I'm excited to play this. Again, I got the collector's edition, so I have to play this. But it looks beautiful. I'm excited to play this. Next up, here's another one. All right, I'm just going to pull up the just a little switch card here of Splatoon. You can't even see it, so tiny. They won't even. There we go. My little Splatoon. So I have this, got for the kids as well. And because we're going to be traveling so much and kind of in some ways kind of homeless for a little while, I love playing Splatoon 3 with the kids. And so I threw that in my collection here to be able to play. I hear the single campaign is actually really, really good as well. I haven't done the single campaign, but I love playing with my 3 kids, Splatoon. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I threw that in my little Switch case here as well. Easy one. Okay, next one. Here's a game I cannot believe I haven't played yet. I know. Dead Cells. For me, as a huge Metroidvania fan, as a fan of this style of game, how have I not played Dead Cells? So I put it in my cartridge holder here. I'm going to play Dead Cells. I've only managed to play like 4 minutes of it when it came out on iOS. I played a little bit of it, but then I got distracted and put it down. But I really want to sit down and play Dead Cells. I'm ashamed to say that I haven't played it. And this is a perfect time to be able to play this game in handheld mode. I think the OLED screen of the Nintendo Switch really brings out a lot of the colors of these games beautifully, and to be able to really time your jumps and moves, your sword slashes, and all of that right in front of your face with an OLED screen with that really responsive Joy-Cons and all of that you've got right there in your hand just make for a great experience. So I'm excited to play Dead Cells for the first time. Okay, another one that I'm excited to play. I picked this. This was a bizarre one. I like to pick up bizarre games that other people really aren't even talking about. And that's kind of what these are. And this one is Fury Unleashed. So this is kind of a bizarre one. I haven't really heard anyone talking about this game. You shoot your way through pages of like a comic book. And I'm a huge comic book fan. So it's like an ever-changing comic book. The comic book keeps changing and you have to power your way through it and fight through it. Great. It's like a fast-paced sort of roguelike. Totally into that. And apparently each kill that you score increases your combo abilities as well. And which is great. I love that when you get a number of combos or number of kills that increases your overall combo abilities. That's so much fun, sort of filling up that meter and all of that. So I've heard a few people say they like it as much as Dead Cells. So good. I've got Dead Cells and I've got Fury Unleashed. I'll do that one. I'll do that one as well. Okay, here we go. Another one. Another Metroidvania. I'm a huge fan of Metroidvania, so another one I threw into my little cartridge holder here is another special edition that I picked up, and that is Cathedral. This looked right up my alley. Oh, it looks gorgeous. It has a bit of a... So what the developers pulled from both an 8-bit and a 16-bit environment and kind of developed the game with both of those in mind, blending that sort of world building and art style, and I just absolutely love this retro look. You kind of have to make your way through like 600 different rooms and find your sort of unraveling secrets of the past. And then you have to find these like elemental orbs. It has this really vast world that you can explore and go back and forth and figure it out. And it also really pulls beautifully from the NES color palette as well. So yes, Cathedral, sign me up for it. This is a perfect game to play on the Nintendo Switch in OLED, the Nintendo Switch OLED screen. Okay, our next game, another JRPG that I wanted to play is Star Renegades. It's basically a dimension-spanning game, but it has RPG. It's a roguelite strategy RPG, so it's got elements of all the stuff that I kind of like. It has a really interesting story that I can't wait to try. I don't know anything more about the story, but it's a little complicated. I don't know much about it. I'm excited to play it. And again, it has a tactical RPG combat system, which is something else that I really, really love. If you're a fan of the Fire Emblem style, turn-based, sort of tactical RPG style, or Advance Wars or anything like that. Heck, Unicorn Overlord uses a lot of elements of that as well. So I'm excited about that. Okay, another one. Here's a fun one. This one looks fun. Gunborg. How many of you have played Gunborg or even know about it? Gunborg Dark Matter. It's really an arcade-style twin-stick shooter. It's supposed to be beautiful, really smooth gameplay. It's supposed to play really nice on the Nintendo Switch, and it has a really nice 80s synthwave music to it. And you're on board like a giant spaceship. You have a lot of traps. There's a lot of hazards to deal with, a lot of aliens, a lot of robots. But it looks gorgeous. It sounds gorgeous. And apparently the color palette looks beautiful on the Nintendo Switch OLED. Perfect game to play in handheld mode, just to jump in and play for a little bit and kill a few robots, kill a few aliens, and jump back out again. Okay, the next one, I've been waiting to play this game for so long. I did a pickups video and I featured this maybe a couple of years ago now, and I'm excited to play this. It's Soldiers. Now it's Soulders, Soldiers. And if you love like handcrafted games like I do, handcrafted art style, this one looks absolutely gorgeous. Another Metroidvania with role-playing elements by Retroforge that created this one. It's from everything I've heard, it's a must-play. If you're a fan of Metroidvania games, it is a must-play game. Has RPG elements with platforming elements thrown in, and it just looks beautiful. So Soldiers is in my little Switch cartridge holding case here as well. All right, next one is one that I've been wanting to play for a while, and I've heard great things about Remnant 2, but everyone's saying, no, you got to go back and play Remnant 1. Remnant from the Ashes is the first one, and it's an action role-playing video game. It's punishing, it's grotesque, which, all right, sounds fun. It's exciting, it's beautifully built, looks gorgeous. It has over like 100 different enemies that you've got to deal with, 100 different enemy types that you can deal with. has 5 major areas, 5 major realms that you have to explore and conquer. And yeah, and each of the realms has a different race that you have to conquer and go forward on. I'm excited about this one because I really want to play Remnant 2, but I've heard you've got to play Remnant 1. It's a great game. So, and I love that this series is kind of just getting started. We only have 2 games. A lot of the games that I tend to want to tackle lately seem to have like 12 games in the series already. So this is great. There's 2. Now I can dive in. Now I can dive in and kind of get caught up pretty quickly. Okay. Next one, maybe needs no introduction. I threw 13 Sentinels in here from Vanillaware. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I'm playing Unicorn Overlord. I'm almost done with it. I have a bit of a completionist problem with this game, though, because I have almost 90 hours into it so far. Yes, 90 hours into Unicorn Overlord. And I'll sit down, just play a battle here and there before bed, winding down at the end of the day. Jumping in when we have a few moments to do a little battle or to do some exploration. I'm absolutely loving Unicorn Overlord. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The story is, not super strong, but it's the strategy, it's the tactical role-playing elements, and having to conquer these different these towers and castles and all of that. I just love it. I love it. So, 13 Sentinels from Vanillaware, the game that they released before Unicorn Overlord, and I've heard it's an absolute masterpiece. If you want story, this is the one. 13 Sentinels. You choose, 13 different people, and they all sort of come together no matter how you approach the game. It all comes together in this amazing, I don't know how they pulled it off, but apparently it's gorgeous. It's amazing to look at. It's an amazing story. And I'm excited to play another Vanillaware game because they really sold me with Unicorn Overlord, and now I'm officially a Vanillaware fan. Can't wait to go back and play Odin Sphere and all of that. So thank you to Vanillaware for becoming one of my new favorite game developers. Not new, one of my favorite game developers. So yes, 13 Sentinels is also in here. Okay, next up, Chris Tales. Again, another game I know nothing about. But I bought it, I've heard good things about it, and I thought, heck, this is a gorgeous indie love letter to classic JRPGs. Sign me up. It has a new perspective on this kind of world building and game development and style. Great, I will play this. You kind of experience the past, the present, and the future sort of simultaneously. I will say I've seen a few reviews saying that it does not play great on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm not a fan of patches. I like to have the full game on the cartridge. But maybe they've released a few patches to fix it. I don't know we'll see how it plays on the Nintendo Switch. But frankly, I have no other choice right now. The only system I have access to right now is my Nintendo Switch. So we'll see how it plays, but looks great. I'm excited to try it. Okay, some quick ones here. Next on my list, the Jurassic Park Collection. I picked this up from Limited Run Games. It finally showed up. It actually showed up a few days ago. And so I got it right before I had to pack up my boxes. And so I took the Switch card out of it. And I don't know if I would have gotten this months ago, this wouldn't be on my list. But because it just showed up and it's got that shiny new feeling to it, I'm like, yeah, heck, what the hell? I'll rip it open. It's got a series of games on here. Some of the classic games. It's got, the 16-bit games. It's got the Game Boy games on here. So I'm gonna jump in and play some of these. I've never played any of the Jurassic Park games. Can you believe it? And I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. So read the books, gone to the movies, all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to try this. So anyway, the Jurassic Park collection I threw in here as well. Next up, Mario Kart 8. Yes, of course. I've just got to have this in here because wherever I end up with my kids over the next few weeks, just to be able to, if I can find like I'm going to actually pack my docking station for the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to wrap that up and see if I have room for it in my suitcase and all of that. So hopefully we'll be able to find a TV that we can sit down and play some Mario Kart together. My kids love playing Mario Kart. I love playing it with them. So I just had to throw that in there. Next one is a recommendation from Emily over at Orbology. And she had sent me a message on Twitter because I said, or maybe it was on her comments on one of her videos. I don't remember exactly, but I said, I'm interested in the Disgaea series. I've never played it. It's a series I know nothing about, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll hate it. I don't know. But anyway, I bought the first one, Disgaea 1 Complete, so I got the complete edition of it. It's I don't know anything about it, so I'm literally going to read right from the description. The Overlord is dead. The Netherworld is in turmoil. Time to kick some ass. Netherworld Prince Laharel awakens to fight for his throne, and it's up to him and some unlikely allies to defend what is rightfully his, together with his devious vassal, Etna, the angel trainee Falone, and a whole cavalcade of explosive characters. Lahar will slash, shoot, and punch his way to the top. Build your squad to level 9,999. Holy crap. Do I have to go through 9,000 levels? And unleash crazy special skills, team tactics, and spells to deal millions of points of damage in this zany, high-definition remake of an RPG classic. Great. I'm willing to give it a shot. I think there's like 7 Disgaea games, right? Am I right about that? 7? You guys correct me in the comments, but all right, I got to start with number 1. You know, that's how I roll. So I'm going to try that out. All right, next up, I'll keep the glasses on as I read my notes. Next up, this is a limited run game, and going back to the 1980s, playing this in the arcade, Tiger Heli. Yes, they just released this, the arcade shooter, the vertical bomb arcade shooter from Taito on the Nintendo Switch. Truly innovative for its time, the vertical shooter. It was released in 1985 in the video arcades in Japan and North America. It was amazing. It would eat up my quarters. I loved playing these types of vertical shooters at the arcade, and I'm excited to play through this. And what's also great about the Nintendo Switch is you can play this in vertical mode. That's right. So you can actually flip it, play it long ways, and play it in vertical mode, like the way it was intended to play. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to play Tiger Heli on the Nintendo Switch in handheld mode. Okay, next. I can't believe I haven't played this game. I know probably all of you have played this great game that just came out in 2018, this amazing platform action game, Celeste. Yes, I'm going to try to tackle Celeste over the next few months. You control Madeline, a young woman with anxiety and depression who is trying to climb Celeste Mountain to kind of overcome her depression and her anxiety. And I feel a lot of that right now with this move. I feel a lot of, not depression, I feel a lot of anxiety, that's for sure. Moving, 3 kids and a wife and a dog and all of that. So this might be the perfect game to pick up and play right now because it kind of fits the metaphor of my life right now, Celeste. So excited for that. Okay, next up, and I have 2 more, just these last 2 here. Sol Cresta. Okay, this is another vertical shooting game. I've really been playing a lot of shooters lately on the Nintendo Switch and just really enjoying it. I think it's perfect in handheld mode to be able to do that. So this is another vertical scrolling shooter game. Flip the Switch north and south and be able to play it like that is really, really cool. I mean, what other system can you do that with? You can take the controllers off if you want. Use a Pro controller and set it up in vertical shoot mode if you're on an airplane or whatever, and you can play it like that. Such a great experience to be able to do that. And it's from Platinum Games. So yeah, when I heard about Sol Cresta from Platinum Games, I had to pick this up. I should point out all of these games except Mario Kart and Splatoon. I haven't played any of these. So I feel like this is like a nice little wallet of accomplishment to be able to play these games and kind of go through and be able to check all of these off my backlog. Okay, I have one more. I have started playing this game. I've been playing it with my 7-year-old daughter, and she is almost finished with it. And I said, okay, if you finish it, I'll finish it. So she's making me finish it on this trip and this move, and that is Kirby in the Forgotten World. So just an unbelievable first-time 3D Kirby experience, and it is hilarious. It's so much fun. The gameplay is fantastic. The music is great. The world building is gorgeous. I hope this is the future of Kirby games. I hope they still do, the 2D style as well, because those are great. But this was an unbelievable game, and just had an absolute blast playing a portion of this with my daughter, who she yells at me all the time. Like she'll be, no, you have to go over here. You have to grab that. And she'll play as the Waddle Dee, or I'll play as the Waddle Dee, and she'll play as Kirby, and it's so much fun. So yes, I've added that to my list as well. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much it for right now. I'm going to be handheld for the next few months, and I'm looking forward to it. This was an opportunity for me to go through my entire Switch collection and really be intentional about the games that I want to play in handheld mode while traveling. So it doesn't have to be that you're moving. It could be that you're traveling. You're going to be, taking that trip to Italy for the first time, and you're going to be gone for a month. find a few great games that will play great in handheld mode and take with you. Anyways, guys, I'd love to hear what you have to say about these choices. Do you have any other suggestions? I'll take your suggestions, but all my games are packed up right now. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.